You said you posted up Josh Hart.
Yeah.
And then you were like, all right, it's time to retire.
Yeah.
Was it good defense or is he trash?
No. It's not like that. I never lied to myself about like what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of guys, like I recognize, like as they retiring and getting toward the end, they didn't want to accept it.
Yeah.
And then they also weren't honest about like when they knew.
Yeah.
You know, so you have guys that hang on, put themselves in unnecessary situations, create injuries and things that you're gonna have to deal with for the rest of your life when you should have walked away from the game, you know, 2 or 3 years earlier. And so I was never delusional about that. You know, I went to college for 4 years, and you know what I'm saying, played every single game, like over 100 games in college, and then coming to the NBA. As a rookie, I was on the oldest team in the NBA, but I played. And then my second year, I got hurt, missed 55 games, but that was probably the least amount of basketball I had in my life was my second year in the NBA. And then from my third year on until like year 12, you know, it was balls to the wall, man. You know, I had the privilege of playing for Byron Scott, who, you know, was the toughest coach I ever played for, just in terms of, you know, what he demanded physically. And anybody who's played for B. Scott will tell you that. So when it got toward the end for me, like I was listening to my body, and I'd also remembered my rookie year, I was on the oldest team in the NBA. So a lot of those guys, you know, were on that side already, and they were telling me like, yo, you know, you got to know when it's time. And a couple of them, that was their last year. And I was learning from them, even as a rookie, on like recognizing the signs. And I always said like I wasn't gonna fight it once it became inevitable. And so that year, that was year 15, and I already knew, you know, my body was where my body was. I had to lose a whole lot of weight just to stay healthy and stay, you know, and stay on the floor. And then, you know, your body just starts telling you, man, like, I can't do this no more. Like, I can do it, but it's not at the level that it needs to be. And that's what that was with Josh Hart. It was like, yo, I'm out here, and I think that was the second night of a back-to-back. And so I had played the night before. We get to LA, and I'm like, how am I gonna get loose to play tonight? Like, and I did a massage, I was doing it, and my body just never said, okay, you ready to go. So when I got out there, I'm trying to do what I usually do, and my body was like, not tonight. Then I had a night, I mean, I'm just honest about it, you know. I had a night, you know, we played Milwaukee, and you know, I'm out there with Giannis, and I'm like, damn, like this is too much, yo. I'm out there with Embiid, I'm like, yo, like maybe 3-4 years ago, D, but like you do the wrong thing with these big, strong, young boys, like you can hurt yourself. There are so many guys that go out hurt, and then what you realize is you never recover. So I'm thinking about that, thinking about my son, my daughter. I'm like, I'm not getting ready to be walking around here limping for the next 30, 35 years of my life just because I wanted to prove something at 37 years old in the NBA. Nah, not happening. So that's what that was about.
No, that was funny. Like reading it, and his response is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to ask you about it though.
Yeah, man. He's a strong, young guard. You know what I mean? And he was because of what happened with him in Villanova, the way they played, he knew how to guard posts, right? Because they switch everything.
You're right.
Yeah, so he's a good, strong post defender anyway. So it was really one of those moments where you just got to be realistic. And I remember there were guys who I was with, and I'd been around who weren't realistic about their moments. Like when they would get, you know, done a certain kind of way, you'd be like, damn, like, it's time. They're like, nah, I still got it. Like, nah, it's time, dog.
I think like you're one of the few players who you experience every emotion and position.
Right.
So you were a star, leader, and a role player.
Right.
You know, and then also you took a lot of people under your wing. Like being from Raleigh, obviously TJ.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you had a big influence on him. And just anyone from here who's been going on the road, like you've had a big influence on a lot of people. So, but how did you adjust to each role? So from going from star to, okay, this year I have to be kind of a leader, and then it's just going down each year kind of. How'd you adjust to each one?
The most important thing, or the way to adjust is to always be realistic. Like never lie to yourself. Like that's what I tell athletes to this day, like the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself, right? And most guys know, like, you know if you're working hard, you know if you're doing enough, you know if you're getting in the gym, you know if you're doing what you're supposed to do. And then usually if you know that, then you can live with the outcome.